whenever I
don't want you to clarify things. I just wanted to answer.
You don't want I just wanted to answer because you are thriving in the confusion, right? If you can throw up this cloud in this conversation of
I really don't think,
then you don't have to actually deal with what I'm actually accusing you of.
Well, wait, stop. I want to say,
you've made your decision on how this interview is going to go and who I am as a person, and you will be damned before anything changes your mind.
I know, but you can't really just call me a liar on your way out.
Yes, I can. I can do whatever the I want. You know what else I can do? I can send you to the fucking void.
I have something I want to say. Early on in my streaming career, I had a bunch of conversations like this with a bunch of people who communicate like you. And I got a reputation for all these meta conversations. It was, I guess it still is, common practice for a streamer to say something like, I am not being slippery. I am not defending Destiny. To just instead of engaging with the criticism being made of you, to just make a flat announcement of your supposed intention, not even your intention, of actually what you are doing in the conversation. But as Shaylin so often likes to say, or as she said on that call with Stardust and Zonia, saying you're doing something is not the same as doing it. So when I criticize your questions, or if I criticize you for being defensive, possibly you may not even know you're doing it. It is not you can't address that criticism by looking at me and saying, I am not doing X. I am not manipulative.
I think
that on its face, saying the sentence "I am not manipulative" literally makes no sense. It's actually meaningless.
I disagree. I think it's important.
Well, I don't think you should.
Talking and having a conversation to establish genuineness in any way.
Saying you are genuine does not establish genuineness.
Not in and of itself, but when someone is misunderstanding
not at all.
It can help to repair the bridge. It has before. It will again. This is just not true. It's just factually untrue.
I don't. Okay, if dear audience, if anybody ever tells you they're not manipulative and it makes you think that they're less manipulative just because they said that, you may still be getting manipulated.
You may. That's a key word. You may. It is not indicated. It is not binary as you're making it out to be.
No, it's actually meaningless.
I disagree.
If the charge is that you're a liar, you can't say I'm not a liar. It doesn't mean anything.
I think asserting it is important.
I can see that. That is what I'm disagreeing with.
Fair enough. We have a fundamental disagreement with this.
Okay.
If I may go back to the report, because I do have a couple more questions that I want to get through. If you're okay with it.
Sure.
What do you think the strongest element of the report is? The one, if people were only to read one single story or one single portion of that, what would you direct them to read to say, this is what I mean when I say Destiny is abusive, etc.?
I don't think you should do that.
I understand, but you understand that, like, due to the length of the report, that's how many are going to be engaging with this, right?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think that's a good idea. It won't tell you much of anything. The thing about I don't want to say subtle, because Destiny's abuse is not subtle. It's clear, but it's there's a lot of plausible deniability worked into all of his interactions with people. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And he also speaks and behaves in a kind of coded way, which is part of why it had to be so long. So each individual story, it can be bad, but can also be explained away or minimized. But the explanations will start to fall apart the more you read. And taken in total, once you get to know him, things that you thought were just negligent or accidental or mistakes come into focus as intentional.
I will admit, if I might just interject real quick, I will admit I do not have the breadth of knowledge on Destiny that you do. I do not have the interaction or the experiences that you do.
Oh Jesus, Whick, just
I,
stop. There's no reason to interject. If this is actually an interview where you're trying to get my thoughts, you should just
am.
let me. No, you're not. You're just that's plausible deniability. This is what I'm talking about. You're giving yourself plausible deniability.
What I'm trying to do is direct it and so that people can digest what you're saying.
You're not helping them digest what I'm saying.
I
You're just
think I am.
You're derailing it by being like, by the way, guys, I
I'm
know I
trying to
just
keep
got
it on
accused
track.
of
Look,
I just got accused of running interference for like a mass abuser, but I just want you guys to know that I don't have the same amount of knowledge as what Max does. But anyway,
I'm prefacing it to say this.
I just don't.
To say that this is frustrating because I had a point, but you've derailed me, sir, and now I no longer have it in my head. Let me try to get back to it, if I might. The reason I think that is important,
let me answer the fucking question
because I
interrupting me.
I wonder, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if
what do you wonder?
that you're hurt from this, that the betrayal that you feel from Destiny colors these previous experiences of you. Do you think that this bias?
Oh my God.
Right? It's a fair question to ask. I'm giving you the chance to answer. Do you think that you may have bias that colors your experience that makes things sinister that otherwise would not be? If it's no, then just say no. It's easy.
Okay. So let me just, because I think you're maneuvering again. I just want to lay out what I think just happened, and then I'm going to decide how to proceed. But a lot of people warned me that I should be careful in this conversation with you, so I want to take their advice. The question is, the report's really long, so if there's one part of it that you think I think encapsulates, it's kind of what you were getting at.
Yes.
Destiny's abuse. What would that part be?
Yes.
And then my response was, I was starting to say that because of the coded way that Destiny operates, and the layers of subterfuge, you reading one part of it, it's a lot more than the sum of its parts. So reading one part of it won't give you, there's 15. I think there's 15 sections. Reading one section doesn't give you a 15th of the picture. It'll give you maybe 1% of the picture. As you speak the language of Destiny and get to know how he moves and operates, then it will come into focus exactly what you're dealing with. But you kind of interrupted me laying that out to ask me first to announce that you don't know a lot about Destiny. You don't know as much about him as I do. And then that was a preface for you to say, do I think that
your experiences.
Wait, I don't. Stop talking, please, for the love of God, please, because you're gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna have to lay that out. Just please, I'm getting better at it, but I'm not that fast at it. Okay, then you interrupted me saying that to preface that you don't have the same knowledge, and then to ask me if I think that my sense of betrayal colored my perception.
Yes.
Okay, and my choices there are to say either I don't see how that's related to the question at all. First of all,
absolutely goes to the
stop. Let me. I just want to lay out what I'm thinking before I decide how to.
I'm trying to let you, buddy.
Just be quiet. Will you just be quiet for a second? Okay. So, I don't see. It is. And I will let you can respond and explain this in a minute. But I don't see how is it related to the question of what is either the topic of what is the most damning part of the report, or the question of kind of what does it mean that the report is a key to itself, that to understand any part of it you kind of have to read the whole thing and see that it's not just a report about Destiny being abusive. It's a report about the fact that the abuse is normalized, and that everyone's kind of just accepted that he's going to be abusive, and that they come up with excuses like, oh, other people are more abusive, or we already knew all that, or whatever. I don't see how the question of is my view of the other stories colored by my own story I don't see how that's related. But
Because it's
also,
not related to either of those things. What it is
okay.
related to is you mentioned that in order to understand Destiny is being abusive, he speaks in coded language.
Hmm.
He creates a lot of plausible deniability. So in response to
Yeah.
that, I asked the question: do you think maybe that your hurt, your sense of betrayal, your past
Oh, okay,
experiences
okay, okay. I get it. I get it.
colored? Does
It's
that make
another.
more
It's a okay.
sense?
I totally get it. It's another. It's another. Max is a paranoid schizophrenic trap where I get what you're saying now.
No, I don't think you
You
do. I think that you
well
have
wait. Stop.
decided
I want to
you've made
say.
your
I want
decision on what this
to.
article. You have made a decision on how this interview is going to
Okay.
go and who I am as a person, and you are coloring all of
Okay.
your responses are colored by that. You have made a decision, and you will be damned before anything changes your mind, and that is
Okay.
frustrating.
I'm sure it is. I want to lay out what I'm thinking now, just in real time. So okay, so now you're saying that your question about whether my personal experience colored my or impeded, let's face it, my ability to accurately assess other people's stories or situations or Destiny's treatment of people in different
Yes.
situations. Your decision, just let me, please don't, just don't say anything. Just let me lay this out. Your question, one second. You decided to ask me that, not because it was related to the question you had just asked, and not because it was actually related to the point I was making that you really need to read the whole thing to kind of like get it. It was you heard me say something I said coded, and as sort of a aside or just like a brick in the kind of the point I was making, and then that sounded paranoid to you, and so then you thought you would ask a question. Really, yeah, it's not really a question. Really, you're saying you think that I am unfairly or harshly judging Destiny because of my feelings of betrayal. Um, and so you asked a question to set me up there. And here's the setup. Here are my two choices after you ask that question. I can either say, no, I was not I was not thrown off so much by my feelings of betrayal and my own abuse. It did not affect my ability to accurately and impartially judge other situations. In which case, it makes it sound like maybe my betrayal wasn't that bad or my abuse wasn't that bad because we're all human. We all know what it's like when if you feel deeply betrayed by somebody, of course it's going to change your view of them. That's just how like our minds work. So I would be denying kind of the obvious. And I've already included a lot of stuff in the report that sort of undermines my own voice as a impartial observer. I'm all over the fucking thing. I've already said I'm complicit. I'm an abuser in the report. The report is also about my own abuse of other people in part. And actually, it's not just even other people there because I knew of some of these stories or I had heard about some of these stories. I didn't look into them, and still, even then, I'm retroactively complicit. So I'm all over the fucking thing. I was Destiny's #1 orbiter, his not really his right hand man, but his definitely his top orbiter. I would say in terms of viewership and clout for a year. So for me to say no to that would be fucking insane. I would sound completely delusional insane if I said it didn't affect my perception of him or these other situations. And then if I say it did affect my perception of him in these other situations, then yeah. So again, it's like, do you think that
It can
do you
affect
think
it,
this,
but your
you've
words can
said
still
some
be
negative
true.
things about this content creator
So
who raped you. Do you think him raping you
he
colored your
did not.
ability to?
Again, you keep using the rape analogy,
Yeah, I just want to show.
but the
Because you.
context changes in that case. So yes,
Okay,
how I treat the conversation is much different if you
here's
were
what you asked
accusing him
me
of rape.
before when we made this agreement to have this
Yes.
conversation. You said, anything you want me to focus on in particular, or are there any lines of questioning you'd like me to avoid? I said, I don't want to be challenged on whether or not I or Lav or Anna were abused. So
And I
basically,
have
can we
not
keep
done
it?
so.
Stop. Basically, Can we keep it to an interview format and not a debate at all? And your response was, yeah, I'm not here to put you on trial.
I'm not.
So you don't think that you have challenged me?
Do you not think that people ask critical questions in interviews? Do you think that doesn't happen?
It does happen. That's why I sent you this DM saying I don't want you to do that about
What
certain
you asked me
topics.
not to do was abuse to say that you were not abused or to debate
No, I
you
said
on
I
whether or
don't
not you
want.
were abused, and we're
I
not
said
here to do that. We're here to talk
I
about your
said
report.
I said I don't want to be challenged on whether I or Lav or Anna were abused.
And I have not done so.
I think being generally unwilling to let me, and I know some of my answers are long-winded, but still, I think I don't have the sense that I can speak freely, which I don't like. I think to do an interview on a topic like this, I really need a lot of latitude to pretty much say whatever I want unimpeded. And then second, I would characterize you asking me if my view of other stories were impeded by my own feelings of betrayal, which even referring to it as, you're not calling it abuse. You're calling it feelings of betrayal, which of course makes me sound like a jealous ex-girlfriend. So I'm going to say that you did, while subtly, break our agreement. So I'm on the edge here, Whick. I don't think talking to you anymore is a good idea.
Okay.
But
that's how you feel.
You're
not a prisoner.
Do you want me to leave? You want me to leave?
No.
If you want me to leave, I'll leave.
I'm just saying you're not a prisoner here. You're free to go at any time.
Yeah.
You're under no contractual obligation to be here. Right?
I don't think anybody thought that I was.
I understand. Well, some people do. Like, when I deal with people, sometimes they make a show like, "Hey, man, I gave up, family time to be here," and I'm like, "Don't do that, please." Right? Like, if something comes up, just bow out, and that's fine. It's a point I make to all my guests, right? But I did not turn this into a debate. I was not the one.
Well, you were not the one. You didn't. I didn't turn this into a debate. You did, Max. I get it. Just for are there people who watching this who are actually so fucking dumb that you can just tell them what's happening and they'll believe you? Everybody already has their own opinion about what happened. You don't. Telling them that doesn't do anything.
I find it. I like to say things sometimes, whether it's useful or not. Whether there's efficacy in doing it is not. But Max,
it just feels good.
Yes, sometimes. Sometimes I do shit because I like to, okay? Because I want to, because it feels good to do. I don't need a gain. I don't need to get anything out of it. I do it because I want to. Max, is there anything else you would like to say about your article? This went terrible. I am not happy right now. I think that you have treated me very unfairly. I think that you have been... I came in here...
good faith. I've been super charitable. I have been extremely good faith. I've been extremely polite.
Curious.
I was not manipulative. I did not set up a ton of traps. I was open to feedback. I let you answer my questions. I did everything right, and I just don't understand why you would be so rude to poor old me.
No, I think I do understand, unfortunately. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. So
what does that mean?
What I think is that
I could think something. I have a thing I could say about you, but I'm not. But I'm not saying. But if you really want me to say it, then I will.
I will.
But I just have it.
I will elucidate my suspicions. Is that you have decided that the pushback I gave you, as small and little as it was evidence of my complicitness with Destiny, that I am somehow part of this grand scheme to take you down and to minimize the things that happened to you. That's what I think is going on. And I didn't think that at the beginning of the conversation, right? I didn't think that at the beginning of the conversation. I thought, okay, we're going to have a productive discussion. I'm going to figure out like some of the questions I have. I thought that was going to happen. I thought we were going to at least come to maybe an understanding, and I could understand, okay, well, why did he choose to include this but didn't include this? Why did sometimes he put in the links to the VODs of things, and sometimes he didn't. And I was very I wanted to ask that, but we never got there.
Stop. I would like to respond to the criticism you just levied. Okay. Um, I don't think that there is a grand scheme. I say this partly because as I said, I was complicit myself. My decision to not talk to Anna when she was DMing me saying that Destiny was abusing her was not a calculated decision. I never asked Destiny if I should talk to her. He never told me not to. He never told me to discredit her. He never told me to mock or ridicule 𝕶𝖓 and 𝕵𝖓𝖎𝖙. I just kind of did it automatically. I was picking up on the cues from the people around me of how it would be good to act and what would be acceptable to act without even knowing I was picking up on those cues. To go against that takes a lot of, I don't know, bravery and strength that I didn't have. And I didn't go against it until it started happening to me. I didn't go against it until I did feel betrayed and I did feel I didn't go against it until I couldn't stand being part of it anymore. And you're not in that position. You're not being dogpiled. You're not being humiliated. You're not other people are not directly accusing you of leading to their dogpiling and their humiliation. You don't have somebody, I guess, other than me. You have me now telling you that I've been abused, and you are not really listening to me. But I'm out of the system anyway, so it's probably an easy automatic choice for you to do that. And then there's immense pressure on you. Destiny is watching, or people who watch him are watching and reporting back to him. His eyes are on you. And if you do or say the wrong thing, you just read 100,000 words about the things that might be done to you or might happen to you. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I'm not saying it's a calculated scheme. I'm saying that you, like me and everyone else who's complicit, you're probably just doing what comes naturally to you. And in an abusive system and a cult, what comes naturally to you is going to be something awful. I've painted 𝕶𝖓 and 𝖚𝖓 and Stardust and Zonia and Irrelevant and a lot of the orbiters. I painted them in a really negative light in this document. In a different situation, I really doubt that they have extensive histories of colluding in or being complicit in abuse. I really doubt it. I
Do
think
you
that
think it's
they're
the space itself that does this, in your opinion? Do you think it's the incentive structures in this space, separate from
no,
Destiny, right?
no, no,
Or do you think
no.
it's Destiny specifically?
What I'm talking about is Destiny specifically.
Okay.
I don't think you could make 100,000 page report or word report spanning 10 years about probably any of the orbiters and find them behaving consistently in doing the same things over and over and over and over again. So yeah, abusive systems normalize abusive behavior. So when I say you're complicit, I'm not saying that I think that you are intentionally being abusive or intentionally running cover for an abuser. That's not what complicity is. Complicity usually is just following social norms, and the norms around you have become so distorted and horrible. But they're to you they're norms, so you don't realize what you're doing.
Well, I think we've kind of run the gamut here. I disagree. But I can't think of any kind of a way I can tackle this that will result in a productive conversation. I think you've decided that I'm going to manipulate and that I'm going to dodge or maneuver. And so any kind of question I can think of simply will be called that. And that sucks because I really wanted to ask a lot of questions. It is what it is, gang. It is what it is.
Well, you shouldn't have talked to me in the first place, because the report clearly identifies bystanders as complicit, and you are not willing to tolerate that. You've decided you have to defend yourself, and so therefore you have turned it into a debate, because the debate is not about whether I was abused or not. I mean, and by association, it kind of has been that too. But the debate is about whether you, now that you've read it, whether you can keep taking the money. And if you're not willing to just keep your fucking mouth shut about that for the sake of the interview, which you clearly are not, then I don't think you should have done it in the first place, because now you've engaged, and now you have to take a stand. You have to take a public stance now about, are you taking blood money or not? And if you're not, then of course you have to disavow the report, which is basically what you're doing. In your
I have not
soft,
taken a stand on whether the report is accurate or not. And nowhere in this have I said,
you are clearly signaling.
I know that's what you believe.
What are you talking about? That's what anybody is going to believe who watches this. Nobody was going to believe this thinking that you think that this is a bombshell expose of mass abuse.
There's obviously a wide spectrum between it's a nothing burger and it's a bombshell of wide.
No, I understand that you're going to try to, at any given moment, keep your position on the report blurry so that you can adjust it to whatever is expedient in the immediate moment. But generally, I think your position is a critical one.
I'm a critical person, both of you and Destiny. I think that you have outlined behaviors that I did not know about. Like I said, there are things in the report that, as someone who is not up with the lore, I didn't know about the Mia situation. I didn't know about the Denon stuff. I didn't know about any of this. Right? Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's concerning. There are some concerning things said in there. Right? I want but the problem with the report. And this is my criticism.
What do you think is concerning?
Sure.
What's your criticism after reading the report? What is your criticism?
Streamer on his stream. He groped someone in 2012 on his stream. That's shitty behavior. Okay, I didn't know about that. That sucks.
Okay.
Is that good? Right?
I don't know. I'm asking you what are your criticisms? You said you're critical of me and critical of Destiny. What are your criticisms of Destiny?
I think Destiny's an asshole in a lot of cases, to be clear. I think that the way he engages with people when it comes to spitefulness, I think that is a big problem that he has. He's very spiteful in a lot of ways. Yes. So that's bad. That's a criticism I have of Destiny.
Okay, so he groped a woman in 2012 who said that it wasn't a huge deal afterward.
Yeah, but that's still bad. It doesn't matter what she said. Like, if you do this behavior, it's still not good. Right?
Yeah, sure. So he was drunk and 23, and he groped a woman who he had a sexual relationship with, and then she said it wasn't that big of a deal publicly afterward. That's one criticism. And then 2 is that he's an asshole. Anything else?
You know what? Probably, but we don't have the time to go over it right now.
We don't?
We don't, because again, I want to be accurate with my words, and I have read the report, but I do not know after this conversation, I do not know the accuracy of this report, because you've used so misconstrued our conversation right now that it becomes impossible to believe you.
So if I view you as...
No, it's when someone actively lies... then I can understand that they can probably have lied before.
Okay, so me calling you spineless is a lie?
Me saying that I've been maneuvering? Yes, that is a lie.
Is that you don't think that's just an interpretation? That's a lie? Do you think I think that you're maneuvering?
Yes.
Okay, so how is it? Wouldn't I just be wrong? How is it? Well, even if it's not true, even wouldn't I just be wrong? You think I'm lying? You think I
Are we going to debate
internally
about
think?
what lying is and what's not?
Well, you
We
just called
can
me a
if you
liar,
want.
so yeah. I think if you
I
call
think
me a
that you've
liar,
lied
we're
about
gonna.
Mike. You've misrepresented. Is that better? You've misrepresented what I've said in
No,
this conversation. I
no,
think you have.
misrepresentation clearly just means
I
lie.
think you have misrepresented what the intent of this conversation. I think you misrepresented how I thought
knowingly.
about this conversation. I think you misrepresented the intent of my questions.
So this is
And
a really
because you
simple question. You can answer.
misrepresented
You can answer
and
this question
also
with
due to the fact
one.
that other people who were involved in the report have said you've
Are you
misrepresented
gish-galloping me,
them.
interviewer?
I'm
This is
absolutely
not an interview
because the
anymore.
interview's over, and now we're just
Oh,
addressing some of these situations that we're
okay.
talking about, right?
Do
The
you
fact
think
that
that
White,
here's
Nervosa, and
I
others
just have one.
said
I
you
just
have
have
misrepresented
I just have
them,
one question.
then I
just
think
have one
that yes,
question.
it's likely that you misrepresented the others, maybe
Whick,
perhaps.
Whick.
As well.
I just this is please. Do you think I think you're being manipulative because you are spinelessly going along with whatever the system is pressuring you to do? Or B, I don't think that, but I'm just saying that.
I think that you believe this because you've decided this. It's very kind of a
Okay,
you've made the
but
decision that I'm manipulative, and so everything I do becomes manipulative.
okay,
Which is a lie. It's not true. It's misrepresentation. Whatever word you want to use, you can pick the word, right?
Well,
but it's factually inaccurate. Okay?
Wait a second. The point of this question is to differentiate between two words. One is lie.
No, that is not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation
the question,
right now
I'm asking,
is to
sorry,
say,
I'm asking you,
am I being manipulative? And so
no,
it's
no,
a very...
that's not what I'm asking. Oh, sorry,
I don't care
you don't
what
understand.
you're asking.
If you don't care what I'm asking, then why are you... Okay, so I can't ask you this question because you don't care what it is.
You can absolutely ask, but I'm going to correct you if you misrepresent me.
Great.
I'm going to do it in real time.
Great, that's fine. That's totally acceptable. So here's the question. Do you think that I, genuinely believe, for whatever reason, even if it's based on a paranoid delusion, I genuinely believe that you are a spineless, manipulative person who is going along with whatever the system is pressuring you to do? That's A. That means I'm genuine. Maybe I'm wrong from your perspective, but I genuinely believe what I'm saying. Or B, I don't think you're spineless, but I'm just saying it anyway.
What I think, right? Is
it, are you willing to answer this question?
Yes, it's okay. A, but it doesn't matter. Your intent does not matter. What you are doing is still misrepresenting me, whether it's purposefully or not. Intent does not matter in this instance.
So instead of using the agnostic misrepresent, I would like us to use something like I'm lying, which requires intent, I think, or I'm mistaken, I'm wrong, I'm delusional. You could call me stupid.
Whatever what you want to use.
No, I want you to pick a word that falls into...
That's what I'm using.
No, misrepresent is agnostic because it doesn't state whether I'm intentionally misrepresenting.
Because the intent isn't... It's purposely agnostic because the intent doesn't matter to what you're doing here. Right?
I'm sorry. Let me back up. This question is about my intent. So the only question I'm asking you is, do you think the things I'm saying about you that you view to not be true are intentionally not true or unintentionally?
They're probably unintentionally not true. Let's say that. I'll give you that grace.
Okay. Wait, when you say I'm going to give you that grace,
because I don't know. Because I don't know. I can't read your
hold on.
mind.
No, stop. Let me. I have a new question. When you say I'm going to give you that grace after your answer, that comes across to me like doublespeak. Like you're saying, when you say you're giving me grace, doesn't that imply that you actually do think it's intentional, but you're saying it's not because you're being polite? Why would you add that otherwise?
Because I don't know, but it feels like it is. It feels like it's intentional, but I don't know. And so because I don't know, know whether or not it is or is not, I said, you know what? Intent doesn't matter. So whether it is or is not is
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Wick, I'm so sorry. Wick, I'm so sorry. The question is about my intent, so it does matter. Unless you don't want to answer the question.
It doesn't matter to me. Let's say that.
Oh. It doesn't matter to you whether I'm maliciously saying you're manipulative?
Why someone beats the shit out of me or me doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, so it does. So if somebody beat the shit out of you because they were blind and hit you in the
whether
they
had
no, just let me
thought I was
sorry.
Someone else,
Wick,
whether they were
I'm
blind,
so
whether it was an accident, I'm still beat up. So it doesn't matter.
Well, I agree that you're beat up, but Wick, let me just ask you this: if a blind person trips and flails their cane, a really old blind person, flails their cane and breaks your nose with it, that has the same effect on you as if a perfectly healthy 25-year-old says, hey, it's Whick. I'm going to hit him with my cane, and then hits you in the face with the same cane, same injury.
Yep.
It doesn't matter to you either way?
This hospital bill don't change, brother. Like, the hospital
True.
bill don't change. Now,
True.
if I was going to
Wait,
enact some
I'm
kind
sorry.
of justice,
Wait. I'm so
not
sorry.
done.
I'm so sorry. Wait.
not
I'm
done
so
with the
sorry.
answer.
I'm so sorry.
If I
My
was going
question.
to-
And my
if I was
question.
going
Did
to
you think I
enact-
was asking about the
if
price
I
of the
was
hospital
going to
bill?
if I was going to enact any kind of retribution, right? If I wanted justice done, then intent would matter. But I'm not here to hold you accountable. I'm not here to give.
Wait, I'm not. I'm
justice
sorry,
for
Wick.
whether or
I'm so
not you're
sorry. I'm not asking
misrepresenting
about
me.
what you're here. I'm so
Right?
sorry. I'm not asking about what you're here
I
for.
understand you're
I'm
not
still,
asking, but you should.
No,
be.
I'm so sorry, Wick. I'm so sorry. I thought we were. I thought you said that you doubt. Here. Let me backtrack. You said I have a ton of criticisms of Destiny. And then I asked you what they were, and then you immediately you made one criticism of him groping a woman on stream, which he himself agreed was a sexual assault over a decade ago, in which the woman said was not too serious. And then you said he was an asshole, which to me seems like a party line accepted thing to say about Destiny. I asked you for more specifics or to elaborate more. You refused to. One of the reasons you said you refused to elaborate is because I'm a liar. So even if you read, you say, wait, no, please, Wick, you're gonna give me so much, you're gonna give me so much more work to do. Please stop. I don't want to do it. Okay, so I'm just explaining where my head's at right now. So you gave a kind of triple. What was your reason for not? You said I've read the whole thing, but I don't really remember it. But also,
it's 100,000 words. I've read it and yeah.
Wick, please,
I
can't. Okay, so you said I've read it, but I don't remember the whole thing. So that was one reason why you can't criticize Destiny. And then reason two why you can't criticize Destiny is that you doubt the veracity of the report because I'm a liar.
You've misrepresented me. So whether you intentionally or unintentionally
stop.
You keep You're bouncing around.
We're gonna get there.
No,
we're gonna get there. Oh no, this is linear. We're gonna get there. Yeah, don't worry. I know you're excited to get to the next part, but we're gonna get there. You said I lied. You used the word lie. So then I was like, well, dude, I was like, bro, what do you mean by lie? Like, are you implying that I'm like just making stuff up in the report? Like that I'm intentionally and maliciously saying things that are not true in the report? Like I'm a liar? Like that's what the word liar means to me. Or are you doubting my ability to interpret situations? And if it's the second one, I would really like you to clarify that. You're saying because that seems like I thought that was the tack you were taking from. No. I'm sorry. I'm not asking a question right now. I'm explaining the questions I had in my head 5 minutes ago. Let me I just want to walk you through this. So. I was like, is he saying I'm crazy? Because that seems to be the tack that he's taken for most of the conversation, like paranoid or overly emotional or vengeful or just or stupid, like I'm bad at interpreting situations. And it was like a stubbornness thing. You said you've decided this. Deciding to be wrong about something is awfully close to lying, but whatever. I'll still give you the chance to decide whether it's intentional or unintentional, or if you just don't want to answer the question. So I put the question to you a few different ways, and you got so far. You went so far into the weeds that you were saying things like, I don't care if a blind person breaks my nose with a cane or if someone intentionally comes up to me breaks my nose with a cane. Those are both the same to me because the hospital bill is the same.
Because you're obfuscating your main criticism in order to sound like, again, whether you do this intentionally or not does not matter. Whether you misrepresented things intentionally or not in your report or in this conversation does not matter. The only thing I care about.
Well, wait.
The only thing I care about.
So, Wick, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Wick. I'm so sorry. Wick. If you call someone a liar, and then they say, well, what do you mean by liar? And then you say, I don't care what liar means.
I'm calling you misrepresenting. That's not a real... I'm saying you misrepresent me. I'm pointing to an action you are doing. Misrepresenting is an action. It's not a state of being. You're not a misrepresenter. You have misrepresented me, and you are misrepresenting and other people. I
hear you.
You have misrepresented them as well.
Wick, stop. I hear you. I get what you're saying. The problem is you called me a liar. Then when I asked if it was intentional, you said you said I'll give you the grace of not thinking it's intentional, but it feels intentional. Which again, so you're still signaling that you kind of do think I'm just a malicious liar, which
No.
also implies that you
Not just.
you do in fact care about it, because obviously you care about it, or you wouldn't call me a liar. And of
Not
course
just.
I care about, like, you can't, like, it would be like if I said that you raped a dog, and then you said, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, I don't care if you raped a dog. Like, you can't like, yeah, you're the one calling me a liar.
But
So
again,
I'm just, the structure of this conversation is confusing. You call me a liar. I say, what does that mean? And you say, I don't care.
it may be confusing, but I think that you are in
So
refusing.
so are you
to let me respond to you, you have increased rather than decreased the confusion. Whenever I try to clarify things, whenever I don't
want you to clarify things. I just want you to
understand
answer.
you don't
I just
want
want you to answer
because
you
are thriving in the confusion, right? If
I
you
just
can
want you to
throw
answer.
up this
I just want
cloud
you to
in
answer
this
this one
conversation
question.
of
I really
talking,
don't think.
then you don't
Okay.
have to actually deal with what I'm actually accusing you of, which is
Whick.
misrepresenting me. You have misrepresented my intent,
Whick.
the style of my questions. You have misrepresented the reason I brought you on here for. You have misrepresented me and my place in this sphere. And because you have done that, and not only that, but because others have accused you as well of misrepresenting their words in the report, much like 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙 says that you misrepresented her in order to get Anna's to come forward, right? Then yes, I think, wow, look, maybe there's a pattern behavior here that we should probably explore. Now, before we come into this, you hadn't misrepresented me. So I was willing to I was like, okay, well, let's see what the guy has to say.
Whick, please. I just have one question. Do you think I'm intentionally misrepresenting you?
I don't know, and I don't care at this point. Whether you're intentionally doing it or not, I'm still getting hurt, and it still needs to stop.
Okay. So would you agree that I did not actually lie about you?
You know what? Fair. We'll say you misrepresented me. Whether you lied or not, I'll leave that to God. I can't judge that.
Okay.
So I will take that back. Is that fair?
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
My next question is.
There's the next one. Okay.
If I did misrepresent you, is it possible that we just have different interpretations of what's happening? Whether you think I'm wrong, whether you think my interpretation is because I'm delusional, because I'm wrong, because I'm crazy, whatever.
Sure.
Do you think
you thought that like I get it. It's possible
that I genuinely think
things differently, but the harm to me is still the same. Whether you think you harmed me or you think you didn't at all, the harm is still the same, which is what I care about.
I think it is. Yes, I think it's totally possible that this conversation will harm your reputation. I think that's really, really possible. Okay, so, but that's not my question. My question is, do you accept my position that we are merely interpreting your behavior in this conversation differently?
I think you're interpreting it unfairly for a variety of reasons. And I can elucidate those reasons if you'd like, but I don't think it's helpful at this point. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking for an exit because I'm done.
I know that.
I've stopped.
You've been looking for an exit for quite a while now.
Yes, because I think that this conversation isn't productive, and nor do I think that.
I know, but you can't really just call me a liar on your way out.
Yes, I can. I can do whatever the I want. You know what else I can do? I can send you to the fucking void. Gone. Bye. Done. Awesome. Excellent. I can do whatever the fuck I want on my own fucking show. That's what I can do, okay? That's what I can do.